everyone, I'm Charlotte. I'm the General Manager at Vamos Theatre. I'm going to start by just giving you some background information on the company and the genre that we use and our work in general. Our artistic director, Rachel Savage, was here yesterday delivering one of the workshops, and today you've got me. So we are by no means experts in any sense, but I'm going to then go on to give you some practical examples of projects that we've been doing recently with a variety of audiences. I'm going to talk about what we've done in each case, something of what we've learnt, and what we're planning to do next. So, Vamos Theatre is a Worcester-based theatre company, and we specialise in full mask theatre. And we tour all over the country, from Liverpool to London, playing to around 10,000 people each year in about 100 venues. We're also increasingly touring internationally. And in 2017, we're off to Belgium and Germany and the Czech Republic, Norway and France. Since 2006, Vamos has grown rapidly, led by our artistic director, Rachel, and working in partnership with a number of creative associates and partner theatres. We have created and widely toured 7 full-scale productions to critical acclaim. We've developed 12 CPD programmes, created a high-profile youth theatre with 160 members over 10 years, and delivered a plethora of workshops nationwide for all ages and abilities from 8 to 102 years. Vamos's vision is to lead the way in promoting full mask theatre, and we perform at all scales, from mid-scale venues, 700-seaters, to village halls, including some of the UK's and Europe's leading festivals and venues, such as the London International Mime Festival, who regularly commission our work. We are dedicated to devised work and to adaptations of human stories, which are often rooted in real histories and events. We strive to create exceptional, innovative theatre based on real-life stories which surpass audiences, venues, and workshop participants' expectations. We deliver a prolific amount of training, educational workshops, as well as specially commissioned productions, taking place across a wide variety of settings, from schools and colleges to businesses, care homes, festivals, and conferences. We also take our gently anarchic walkabout theatre into the streets of Britain and beyond. We put expanding audiences and participation in mask at the heart of our practice, and we make inclusive, accessible theatre, but importantly, engaging theatre. Our work is entirely non-verbal and explores very universal themes. Full mask is accessible as it has no spoken language. Audiences align themselves with the characters and follow their internal monologues, and thus empathise with them. They care, our audiences care, because of the universality of our characters and their stories, and they recognise themselves within them. Our ambition is to create a reputation as a theatre company where everyone is welcome. And because our genre connects with audiences on an emotional, human level, employing non-verbal modes of communication, we have in particular developed strong connections with the deaf community, with people with learning disabilities, and people living with dementia and their carers. The process that we go through to create our work enables audiences to see a new perspective of the world in which they live, and this is what makes Vamos's work unique. The integrity of our storytelling has enabled the company to develop strong relationships with venues and audiences and led to numerous 5-star reviews. I'm going to focus on 3 areas in terms of our audience development work as an organisation. I covered them a moment ago. The deaf community, people with learning disabilities, and people living with dementia and their carers. As our work is non-verbal, we have a legacy of working with the deaf community. In the past, we've worked on a number of occasions with Dudley Deaf Theatre via Black Country Touring. And Jeff Clarkson, director of Dudley Deaf Theatre, has commented, "Vamos Theatre is a good mask company and is popular with deaf audiences. The deaf audiences love the acting, and it makes them laugh. Let go. Okay. With our current touring work, The Best Thing, performing here at MAC next week on the 29th, shameless plug. The intention was to build on this early fledgling work with Dudley Deaf Theatre and optimise our production for the deaf community. This optimisation was in relation not only to the artistic content, but also our marketing and outreach. It was a real CPT opportunity for our core team, including me. We invited our now regular deaf consultants into the rehearsal room to feedback on the content of the show as it was being devised. In particular, getting their insights into scenes which involve the integration of mask work, music, and choreography to ensure that we could say with confidence that our performances require no BSL interpretation. We asked our experts to troubleshoot our Introduction to Mass Theatre workshop to make sure it was suitable for deaf participants, and so we could hone our delivery. And we asked for feedback on our marketing materials, for example, preferences and guidance in relation to our BSL trailer. We discussed in particular language to make sure that potential deaf audiences felt like our work was for them, and we learnt that words like visual storytelling are key in signalling that. We also discussed the venue experience, as the main thing we learned actually was that it doesn't matter how accessible our work is. If the venue experience isn't a welcoming one, then it doesn't matter all the work that we've put in place. And as a result, we worked with accessibility consultants and offered venues troubleshooting on their own approach. Many venues have told us that not enough companies are working in this way, and we're really proud of the work that we've done. This year we have trained and employed 3 deaf practitioners for the first time to offer deaf-led workshops for our deaf audiences. Next week they will be delivering a residency at Braidwood School, resulting in a performance for the school's open day. Pupils from Braidwood School came to see a performance of The Best Thing at the Arena Theatre in Wolverhampton earlier in the tour, and were able to ask our deaf team questions about being professional artists in a post-show Q&A. Going forward, we plan to develop our deaf team further and create 3 deaf ambassador roles to support audience development and grow trust. Our next production, A Brave Face, which will be opening at the London International Mime Festival in January 2018, will take this notion of visual storytelling even further, and we're really growing our use of projections to enhance the productions for deaf and hearing audiences alike. We know from experience that full mask can be liberating and equalising for people with learning disabilities. Wearing a mask makes you anonymous, and in a group situation is equalising. In spring 2017, we are delivering 4 relaxed performances for the first time of The Best Thing, allowing those who perhaps don't feel like the theatre is a welcoming environment for them to come and access both our show and the theatre building itself. We spent a lot of time researching and planning, talking to experienced venues and companies such as Birmingham Town Hall Symphony Hall and the New Wolsey in Ipswich, who have established relaxed performance programmes, as well as Richard Hayhow and Open Theatre Company. The process was really fascinating, and the thing that stuck with me the most is that for some families and groups, just getting to the theatre in the first place is actually a real achievement. And ultimately, our job and the venue's job is to make sure that our audience have had a really positive experience and feel like the theatre is a welcoming and inclusive space that they'll come back to. And we now have a commitment to offer relaxed performances on every tour going forward. In terms of audience development, we regularly deliver residencies with different schools and community groups. We recently delivered a week-long residency at Ganton Special School, all the way up in Hull. And a lead teacher from their school gave a really nice quote, which I thought I'd share with you. By removing the medium of verbal speech, Vamos created a truly democratic performance space for both our students and empowered them to communicate profoundly, hilariously and emphatically. We're also currently delivering a 10-month project for Arts Etc. in Kidderminster already. And we're working with them to create a performance, a professional performance in July 2017. Their director gave us the following feedback. Vamos makes you feel like everything is possible, and it was. We also have an ongoing relationship with Regency High School, and next year we plan to work in partnership together to engage local audiences by establishing a new group, which will be called Vamos Inclusive Community Theatre, for adults with additional needs aged 18 plus. This is because their head has told us that that's a real gap of provision in Worcester. And everybody will be welcome, but there'll be a real focus on school leavers who are looking to make the leap to the professional sector, but lacking that kind of support. People living with dementia is another group that we work with regularly. In 2013, Vamos Theatre was commissioned by the Courtyard Theatre in Hereford to create a theatre show about dementia. Finding Joy is a funny and fearless award-winning show and our most widely toured production to date. It has toured to over 100 venues across the UK for 2 years and has been seen by more than 15,000 people. It's been to the London International Mime Festival, to the Jyväskylä Festival in Finland, to the Edinburgh Festival, and it will be touring again internationally this year. The show is about Joy. She's feisty. She loves to dance, and she's living with dementia. Her grandson, Danny, is rebellious, bright, and always getting into trouble. And Danny decides to become Joy's full-time carer. And together they discover a shared playfulness and mutual affection. As a result of the production, we have found ourselves working regularly in the healthcare sector and have started to receive regular commissions. When we started out on this venture, it hadn't occurred to us how suitable full-mast theatre was to those living with dementia. For many people with later stage dementia, words, of course, don't mean much anymore. Our work is human and highly visual, and it creates immediate connections with its audience without the barrier of words to overcome. And so building on this experience, between 2017 and 19, we're leading on a strategic touring project catchily titled Full Mast Theatre and Dementia Audience Development Project. The idea being that it's going to really cement our role in developing hard-to-reach audiences, specifically people living with dementia and their carers, so people with really complex barriers to involvement. We hope that this project and our work will be catalysts for our partner venues to access new audiences. And it will be a 3-stage project, engaging and reaching people who are never or seldom involved in high-quality, innovative arts work. So firstly, frail older people with a focus on those with late-stage dementia. Despite an upsurge in work in the dementia sector, these people are still left out as they're deemed too challenged or challenging to engage. But we believe that old age and illness is not a barrier to creativity and to culture, and actually should be embraced as an opportunity for artistic innovation. With this project, we're going to be demanding a real step change in the way that the theatre and arts and health and care sectors work together, which will be the legacy of the project. So the first stage will be a tour of our work Sharing Joy, which is aimed at people living with dementia, and this will take place at care homes and hospital wards, doctor surgeries, dementia cafes and theatre venues as well. And I've just got a few slides of that just to show you its kind of interactive nature. So we have mass theatre and a lot of 1940s nurses. We have nostalgia. We have a lot of music. We have puppetry, a lot of audience participation. We celebrate life. We use touch and dance and interaction and movement. And of course, laughter, hence the title, Sharing Joy. I'm just going to share with you a few of my favourite quotes really quickly. A man in his 60s...
30 seconds.
Okay. Jeff lives in a care home in Bromsgrove and he has early onset dementia. He's in his 60s. And he said, it made me feel young. I like it when people come here and they don't pity me. Doris, who's 102, and she lives in Weston Supermare, and she said, you bring us noise and laughter and you make us feel alive. And Hugh, who's 84 and he lives in Pershaw, he said, that was the best time I've had since my wedding night. Just quickly, so stage 2 is our Listening with Your Eyes workshops. We'll deliver that in care homes and theatre venues, and it's mass theatre techniques and non-verbal communication techniques, enhancing our participants' understanding of mass theatre and how to use non-verbal communication skills, so professional development. I'm just going to do this quickly. The final stage will be a tour of Finding Joy. So maybe I'll just jump through and show you the trailer of Finding Joy for that tour.